Hi, this is Nancy Lewis from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and I wanted to show you a little problem that I'm having with my KnitKing Brother Computknit Bulky 270 knitting machine, and with the hopes that it will help some of you that might have older machines. I'm not exactly sure how this applies to other Brother machines, but you might find it interesting. Okay, so I have this knitting machine, and I had this problem. When I would enter in patterns, the patterns would not take. This is supposed to be a circle like this top one up here, and sometimes it would pattern correctly and sometimes it would not. Now the only thing I could look, this one I got to pattern correct. This pattern has 2 stitches, 4, 6, then 6, then 4, then 2 that are in the alternate color, and sometimes they would line up and other times they wouldn't. So I want to talk to you about a little problem that I had, and when I would post questions online, I wasn't really finding very much in the forums on Facebook that discuss this problem. This is the back of the carriage. Now if you look closely here, you will see that this side has a magnet and this side here does not. So I suspected that it had something to do with this missing magnet. I actually think this might have a little piece of kitchen magnet we shoved in there, but this one was missing and this one was here, so I couldn't find this magnet. The suggestion I got from someone on through email was to try to replace it with a kitchen magnet, and let me show you without using any yarn what happens when I knit with this. So I'm going to select from 10 left to 10 right. See if you can see these. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's easier for you. Hopefully you'll be able to see that right here is the middle line. Okay, right about there, that's my 0. And so I have 10 to 10, and I'm going to take the carriage outside, turn on my machine, and I've pre-programmed in this pattern. It's 937 for me. Clear. Let's cut this out. Let's try again. I want all over patterning step. We're on pattern 937. All right. All right, we're starting at the beginning. All right, so I'm taking the knitting machine, the carriage, outside the left mark. Let me show you this right here. I've got the knitting carriage right out here, outside the left mark, and I'm going to go across here and knit the 10 rows, but I'm not using yarn. There we go. That takes a little while to get used to doing this whole thing with. Okay, so here's the 10 right there. And go back. I'm not going to select yet. 3rd row, it's selecting these 2 in the middle and either one on the ends. Okay, right like that. Go back, it should select these 4 right here. And if you notice, here's the center mark, and it selected these 4 off to the right. They're not centered. These over here are not centered either. These should be 2 here, and I believe 2 here. Now I'm going to go back, and it should, according to the pattern, should be 3 to the left and 3 to the right for the next 2 rows. And here's the center 6. They're all centered. Go back this way, and it's mispatterning every time I go from left to right. There's the 4 centered. There's the 2 that's off to the side here instead of over here, and we're back to the beginning. Now what I discovered after I stuck a magnet on here was that if I take this carriage past the left side instead of the right, the patterning works even without the magnet on the back. I am missing the one on the right from, if you're looking at it from the front. So I'm going to go past this mark over here and come across like this. I'm going to start my pattern over again, and let's show you what happens. First 2 are free. Here's row 3. Okay, so we've got the center 2 right here that are correct, and 1 on either end. This time we have these 4 in the center, nice and centered, 2 on either end. 6 centered, 6 centered, 4, 2 on either side of the middle, 2 in the middle, and then we're done. So next step, fix the magnet, because apparently if you're missing the back right magnet, when you start on the right turn, it's not going to work. So what I did was I took a little magnet that I got from an eyeglass case. Hang on, let's see, where did I put that thing? Here we go. Here is the tiny little magnet. I looked around. Somebody suggested the magnet off of a kitchen cabinet, an old-fashioned kitchen cabinet. Here it is, and it needs to be oriented the right way. So I just tried it with a piece of tape over it like this and stuck it on the side of the carriage, close to the part where it normally was, and it worked. So I'm trying to keep this orientation. So I'm going to go get my hot glue gun. I'm going to try to glue this on while you're watching, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is the side that's missing it. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun and put a little bit of hot glue right there next to it, and then slide this magnet, keeping the same orientation, onto that hot glue. It has to be up above that little ridge right there. Let's try that, and I'll throw a little bit more on it. My magnet's really strong, and I'm thinking that this will work. It might not look too pretty, but until I can find a real magnet, I think this is going to do. And I don't know if I know that my standard machine has just one of these, so I'm not sure what you would do if you were missing the one, but you could try replacing it with a kitchen magnet or something similar. So I think you can see that all right, right? So let it go. Whoops, it slipped down, so let's stick it back up. That's not good. Try again. The tape did work a little bit. I suggest a non-magnetic surface and non-magnetic thing to try to stick this on here. See if that'll work. Now the tape does work. The other thing that I tried while I was doing this to test out my theory was, instead of actually attaching the magnet here, when I started out on the right hand side, I simply took the magnet and touched it to that end, and it still worked. So if my theory works, and this stays put right there, I should be able to knit, starting on the right hand side, with the same pattern. Alright, she's on. Let's see how this goes. I didn't push my little button in. Alright, that's row 2, 3, centered, still centered, going down to 4, turning to the side, and it works. So I'm going to go to the other end and test it that way, starting past the left turn mark, and next I'm going to knit. Alright, here's centered at the 2. Looks good. Out past the right turn mark, center, still centered. I hope somehow this is helpful for you. I'm going to hook up the machine with some yarn and show you what it can do. Okay, I've E-wrapped across, attached some weights, I knitted some rows, and now I have the knitting machine, the carriage, off to the far right. If I were better at working this thing, I would show you that I have it off to the far right, and turning it to KC, knitting across a row. There we go. Knitting across, pushing the button in. Row 2, nothing should be selected. Row 3 should select the middle 2. Good, and let's knit this. I think that worked really well from what I can tell. And I don't know if you can tell that. Let's see. Let's do it one more time. Alright, let me take this off so you can see what we got. I think it's going to work. My problem really was that I couldn't use my machine with a pattern, and I wanted to throw in a complicated Batman pattern to make a blanket for my son. And I couldn't do that because I wasn't going to enter a whole complicated pattern and then have patterning problems. I know that these are a little bit loose. It's part of the problem with doing cameras and knitting at the same time. I ran out of hands. But if you look, these look about like they should. There's no mispatterning that went on, and it's all because we got that little magnet going in the back, triggering something off to the side past that turn mark. I hope this is helpful for you. If you like this kind of video, if you'd like to see other knitting machine videos, please like and subscribe. But today we covered how to fix the magnet in the back of your knitting machine. Thanks. Bye.